Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. Tonight, we are, what do I say? Talking about? We are
coming to you
reporting?
live
What do I say?
from
Tonight,
coming to you live from blah 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 to blah 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 and everywhere in between. Or
No, it's like a specific
Huh.
verb. Recapping.
There
Tonight,
we
we're recapping the week's nerdy news from the Technodrome to Octo and everywhere in between. My name is Mike Gibson. With me, I was Steve Haller. What's up, Steve?
Oh, you know, apparently forgetting our intro that we've done for the last 4 goddamn years.
Every once in a while, my brain just abandons that. Just abandons the intro or a portion of it. Today
Yep.
was just that one word that I couldn't place. But speaking of intros, I have to say that the last time someone listened to this podcast, they may not have heard me giving the intro. They may have heard you giving the intro, Steve. And a round of applause. Great job on hosting last week's episode when I was out of town with special guest Brandon from Mon Comics. That was a great episode. I listened to it. I loved it. I only tried to talk to you through my phone maybe 2 or 3 times.
Nice. Yeah, much appreciated. And many thanks to Brandon. Great to have him on the pod. Always great to do stuff with him. I think we've decided that we're going to try and get something else going next month before the holidays as well.
Oh, great.
So ideally, we could get something live going maybe over at our good friends and sponsors, Funky Town Comics and Vinyl.
Ooh, that would be great. Yeah, let's do it.
So
let's do it.
For anyone who is in the greater Syracuse area or even beyond, because they're worth traveling for, Funky Town Comics and Vinyl for all your nerd needs. But yeah, no, it's I didn't make it down to the shop this week. I don't know if you did. But no, you were coming in. You were coming in from leaving on a jet plane. At the time, I didn't know when you'd be back again. I'm going to stop the John Denver references. But yeah, we're rocking here.
Yeah, we are. And thank you to our sponsors, Funky Town Comics and Vinyl. Yeah, and we got some news. Not a ton of huge news, but some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, right? You missed the huge news last week. Like, you know, there was a lot that dropped last week.
There was a lot last week. Yeah, and you captured all of it. More than I had even seen. You know, when I'm out of town, when I'm on vacation, I'm not trying to check my phone too much. Of course, I'm a living, breathing person over the age of, 15. So, of course, I'm checking my phone more than I should when I'm in a beautiful vacation land. But I try to keep it out. I try to keep it away as much as I can. I try not to be reading too much news specifically. So I miss a lot of nerd news. And so I found last week's podcast to be very informative because I knew none of that stuff.
Well, there you go. Happening. That's what we shoot for. Yeah. So
that's right. We're effective. We're an effective podcast for even me, the host, the co-host of this podcast. We got a couple stories tonight. And we're going to start with one in the realm of miscellaneous. And it regards, Steve, a franchise that you are a big fan of. And that I used to be a huge fan of. And now I'm still pretty in on, I guess. Not all of them, but you more than me. Is that fair to say?
I would say so.
Okay, well, we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because some dude named Neil H. Moritz. You ever heard of Neil H. Moritz? I don't think I'd ever heard that name before. But maybe I should have, because he's apparently a very high-profile Hollywood producer who's behind such franchises and The Fast and the Furious. Ever heard of it? Or Sonic the Hedgehog? Ever heard of it? Well, this Moritz guy, he is currently in negotiations to take on the job of restarting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film franchise as a live-action film franchise for Paramount Pictures. Live action. There has not been a quote-unquote live-action Ninja Turtles movie since the Michael Bay ones.
Those exist?
2010s, right? I never saw them. I never saw them.
You don't need
Can't
to.
imagine that they're good. Yeah. Can't imagine that they're good. There's a reason that I never saw them. I guess I'll
Right.
say that.
So you're at this point you're listening to two people who grew up in the heyday of the live action Turtles.
Oh boy, did we!
Straight from 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to The Secret of the Ooze, and then on to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 that was not called Turtles in Time. The video game was called Turtles in Time. But everyone thinks that the movie was called Turtles in Time.
Wow, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a real like Mandela effect.
100%. Because for the
'Cause I
longest
really
time I
thought
was
the
like,
movie was called Turtles in
yeah,
Time.
no. Yep. So there you go.
It's just there's no subtitle at all. It's just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Yeah, just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Wow. They had a subtitle for the second one. They should have kept in the tradition of the subtitles of the titling.
Yeah. Well,
I think.
okay. So here on Wikipedia, it does say
Okay.
that it was subtitled Turtles in Time on some home media releases.
Oh, okay.
The question is whether that was maybe you had the VHS that did. But
Right.
the movie poster itself and when it was released was just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. So
Wow.
yeah, Turtles in Time was the 91 arcade movie or arcade
Yes.
game. So
Of course. I am old enough to have seen the original live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in the theater when I was a kid, at the height of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles popularity. That's like the first movie I remember being like just psyched out of my mind to go see. Like I was so excited to see a Ninja Turtles movie.
oh,
And
100%.
I was like 7 or something. I don't know. I was young, but I was like just in heaven. And then Secret of the Ooze played for me like absolute gangbusters when I saw that as well. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, I don't remember how old I was. I was still pretty young, but that was what I could tell it was bad. I didn't know anything about movie making or storytelling really at that time. I was still too young,
Yep.
but I was like, this one's not as good. I just
Right.
can tell. It's just not as good.
So it was
don't know why.
90 with Turtles 1, 91 with Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, real quick turnaround, right?
Yeah. And then 93 with Turtles 3, which is funny because by the time Turtles 3 came out, it was almost like, the animated series debuted in 87. And it was almost like that was almost the bookend of like those of us that grew up in that heydays fandom. Because after that, they tried that live action TV series. They tried a bunch of weird stuff. None of it hit. Like the
Pizza Hut rock and roll tour.
Yep.
Coming out of our
shells. Yeah. Oh God. Yep.
I'm sure we've talked about coming out of our shells on this podcast before, but boy, it's fun to revisit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Just insane. If you're listening and you don't know what the Ninja Turtles coming out of our shells music tour was, you should Google that shit.
Yes, you should.
Insane. It is insane. It is like such a great example of a franchise jumping the shark. Like I don't know if there's a better example about like when a franchise goes too far. Like, oh, the Ninja Turtles are so popular, kids will buy anything with Ninja Turtles. Kids will go crazy for anything with Ninja Turtles on.
Well, and this was after the popularity of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, featuring Vanilla Ice doing the Ninja Rap.
Yeah, that's right.
And oh God, there was an MC Hammer Turtles song too, wasn't there, from the first one?
I believe there was. Yes.
Oh,
I wish I could remember it right now, but I cannot.
Yeah, I remember it because it was on weirdly enough, I had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles soundtrack.
As did I.
Yep, because why wouldn't you?
I had this. Did I have the soundtrack? I had a single for a. This is an insane thing that I remember for no reason at all, but there was an artist named Ya Kid K, and this track and the song was called "Spin That Wheel," and I remember I listened to that a million times because it was on the Ninja Turtle soundtrack.
So on the on the soundtrack, that was track 2. Track 1 was "This Is What We Do" by MC Hammer.
This is what we do.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I remember that.
And then the closer to the A side. Yeah. Brian in the chat nailed it. Bravo, Brian. The closer to the A side was Turtle Power by James Alpern and Richard Usher Jr.
Oh, sure. TURTLE power,
Yep.
TURTLE power. Of course. Of course.
Yep.
That's the one I was thinking of when you said the MC Hammer one. That's what I was thinking of, which is not the MC Hammer song,
Right.
but it is the Ninja Turtle song. I knew there was a song associated with the first one. Okay.
That was done
what I was
by
thinking.
Partners in Crime with a K and a Y. You choose where they go. You can figure it out yourself. Such artists as Spunkadelic on the soundtrack. Yeah. The orchestra on the half shell.
Funkadelic?
Yep.
What?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was a thing.
Oh. Wow. All right.
Oh, here we go. We're going into 90s soundtracks. Brian Brian has stated that it is the second greatest soundtrack after the original Space Jam. Which
Space Jam's up there, I guess. Who was the wasn't there a celebrity song on Space Jam?
there was a couple of them. There was Fly Like an Eagle by Steve Miller, covered by Seal.
Yep.
Okay. Quad City DJs with Space Jam. I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly himself.
Yes, R. Kelly was on that. Yes.
Yeah. Hit 'em High that featured Be Real, Busta Rhymes, Coolio, LL Cool J, and METHOD Man.
Wow.
Yeah. Monica was on it. Salt and Peppa. Barry White and Chris Rock on the same track. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you meant.
All for One.
Interesting.
R. Kelly, Changing Faces, and Jay-Z.
2 R. Kelly songs?
Uh-huh.
Jeez, wow.
And then
Looney Tunes, Space Jam really went all in on R. Kelly. Wow, what a perfect investment.
Might have chosen poorly on that one. And then the track I did not know the track I did not know I needed. That's the Way I Like It.
Oh, it's got to be. It's a character that's rapping.
No.
Okay.
Bugs Bunny had his own rap song that was the closer on the B side.
Okay, that's what I was guessing. Okay.
That's the Way I Like It by Spin Doctors, featuring. Actually, you know what? What is the least likely person to feature that is an early 90s rap artist on a Spin Doctors song?
I feel like any rap artist ever is unlikely to be on a Spin Doctor song. Like the fact that it's a Spin Doctor song makes any appearance of any hip hop artist very unlikely.
Well, they may Got What You Need, but they say you're just a friend. Biz Markie.
Okay, that one makes sense. That one I'll buy.
Spin Doctors featuring Biz Markie.
R.I.P. Biz Markie. You were awesome.
Wow. Brian, I am very glad you brought up that soundtrack. That just
Biz Markie also did a couple tracks with the Aquabats.
Yes, he did. Dope, that almost makes sense though. Like at least there's some
totally
brain like there you can draw that connection. Spin Doctors. Little Miss Can't Be Wrong and Biz Markie do not usually coexist all that frequently.
You're right. You're right. I have nothing else.
It's like, well, that's accurate. Okay.
Is the while we're in this territory having this conversation,
why not?
Is the banger soundtrack that goes along with the big summer movie, is that a dead thing, or does that still happen? When's the last time there was a movie that came out that was like, oh, but you gotta get the soundtrack?
Oh God.
I mean, we're like old, so we're like out of it anyway, you know?
I used to love soundtracks. Like I would always get soundtrack. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because you just get like a bunch of different artists and they're all like, you know, I mean, I almost said they're all good songs, but that's not true at all. Like now I grow up and I realize that a lot of those are just like, oh, here are these B-sides that weren't good enough for our album. So yeah, we'll give them to a soundtrack. Yeah.
I can say one of my favorite soundtracks of all time was X Games Music from the Edge.
Okay.
From what they released it in 96.
Okay, I was gonna say we gotta be talking late 90s, yeah.
So the track list was Red Hot Chili Peppers' Higher Ground.
Dope.
Gravity Kills Guilty.
Dope.
Ministry, Jesus Built My Hot Rod.
Whoa. Okay.
Primus,
Still on board.
Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, which this
Okay.
this got me into Primus and sent me down a goddamn rabbit hole when I was young.
Yeah, I bet.
My personal vote for banger of the album, Toadie's Possum Kingdom.
Possum Kingdom.
I love that song.
It's maybe honestly best song of the 1990s.
It's got to be up there.
Like it's in the it's in the conversation.
Yeah.
If I'm having that conversation with you, it's in that conversation. That is an absolute banger of a song.
Yeah.
Like it's up there with best of the decade. I think
it embodies. It really embodies the decade too.
Yeah, such a good song. Such a good song.
Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way?
Oh, you wanna die?
So
yeah, that's a banger too.
Sepultura, Ratamahata.
Sepultura, Jesus.
Yeah, like the Cavalera Brothers, because why not? Fight for Your Right by the Beasties. Seven Mary Three. I don't know if you remember them.
I sure do.
My. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
My by them. Korn Blind. Megadeth. Megadeth covering Paranoid.
What the hell?
Yeah.
What is this a soundtrack to again?
The X Games.
Not
like
even a game.
Just the skateboard and
just the idea
like
of the X Games.
Yeah, like the skateboard and BMX competition. Drill Go to Hell. Goo Goo Dolls Only One Performed. Shades Apart covering Tainted Love.
Shades Apart.
Wow. House of Pain covering Shamrocks and with Shamrocks and Shenanigans. Sex Pod, Go, and Faith No More, Epic.
What a banger closer.
Yeah, it's like
wow.
That shaped my entire music outlook of the 90s from that soundtrack.
How many people do you think tune in to the Multiverse Report to listen to us talk about soundtracks from the 1990s?
Probably more than we would think. I feel like I know at least 5 or 6 people that listen that will greatly appreciate this conversation.
Oh, no. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are listening to this that are enjoying this conversation. I don't know that any of them tuned in hoping that we were talking about 90s soundtracks. Although
no.
I believe it was the last episode of this podcast that I was part of.
Yep.
We did spend 10 to 15 minutes talking about Aerosmith.
That is true.
Remember that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So maybe that did set a bar. Maybe now people are coming back to talk about out-of-date music and soundtracks and things like that.
Oh, God. Yeah, that sounds right.
What seminal rock act will we slander this week, Steve? Who's it going to be?
Oh, that's so. I mean, let me count the ways. There are plenty we could.
Plenty.
Brian brought up Into the Spider-Verse, which was an absolute banger of a soundtrack.
Yes, that's a great.
And Black Panther.
Yep. I also thought of while we were still not talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And thinking of soundtracks, I remember that the Barbie soundtrack was a pretty big deal when it came out. I know like Billie Eilish and stuff. There's like all-female artists, like that was like a big deal. All-female producers and stuff. Spider-Verse is a great call, and also we're forgetting like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, like those. You know, the awesome mixtape #1 was like integrated into the plot of the film, which therefore boosted the soundtrack in a way that I don't think would have worked otherwise. And Superman, more of a score film than a soundtrack film. But other than that, like most James Gunn movies are like pretty have banger soundtracks, including the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
His Guardian stuff for sure. So I say it's still out there, but clearly from this conversation, I think we are being reminded that the 90s was really the peak of let's get a banger soundtrack to help push this movie, because also like that's the music industry was different in the 90s. That was like peak music industry too, with music videos and things, like everything was promoting everything else, right? So it was like it made sense that Batman Forever should have a fucking banger soundtrack,
right?
Because it's only going to help promote the movie, because there's going to be a video and that'll promote the movie and will also promote the soundtrack, and the movie has a song in the credits which promotes the soundtrack, which therefore promotes the video. Like all this stuff is kind of like all intertwined.
Yep.
Anyway,
can't talk about that without making a comic book tie-in to the 90s. possibly the best movie soundtrack of the 90s for, shaping my existence, The Crow.
Oh, sure.
When
Yeah,
they adapted
absolutely.
The Crow, they decided to find all of the good music and throw it on one album.
Yeah.
And then they did with the sequel too, but the movie sucked.
Movie sucked. Exactly. So the soundtrack isn't as fondly remembered because of the movie, because like I said, everything's intertwined. The movie bombs, the soundtrack doesn't go anywhere. The movie's a
Right.
hit, soundtrack's the hit too. Music videos are a hit, everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they got us. That's how they got us in the 90s, Steve. That's how they got us.
Oh, Trainspotting.
And then they
Trainspotting was a fucking killer album too.
Oh, sure. Trainspotting, yeah. But then they segued over to soundtracks for video games like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
And now Superman is in my head. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Speaking of Superman, this is a podcast where we regularly talk about superheroes and comic books. And so we're going to get back to that when we go back to our first story that we're still talking about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being relaunched as a live action franchise. So, as Steve mentioned, I don't know, maybe a half hour ago when we started talking about this.
Rails? We don't need rails.
The first movie came out in 1990. I believe, is that what you said, right? And then the sequel came out in 91. That's insane.
Oh, Jesus. We didn't even, never mind. We didn't even talk about the actual story, did we?
I know. We're not even there yet. That's what I'm saying. We haven't even gotten to the meat of the story.
Oh, boy.
So anyway, this guy, Neil H. Moritz, is in negotiations, just reminding you what we're talking about, in negotiations to relaunch the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise for Paramount Pictures. Ninja Turtles is a property that Paramount owns outright. Paramount was recently acquired by Skydance. And so Skydance is kind of going through all the IP, figuring out what they can do with it. Now, this news is coming as Skydance Paramount has recently announced that they have axed 2 other in development Ninja Turtles projects, or not even in development, in production. One was animated series, spinoff of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem film, the animated film produced by Seth Rogen, which both Steve and I thought was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was airing on Paramount. I think it at least had 1 season. It might have been its 2nd season, but they just straight up canceled that mid-production. They didn't even let the season end. They just pulled the plug on it. You're done. This is it. It's over, which is a bummer. And also, you may have mentioned that a while ago on this podcast, we talked about the announcement that they were making a live-action adaptation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin.
Yeah, which I was real excited about.
We were both pretty excited about that because that is a very popular comic book tale, which takes place in the future, where there's only one of the original 4 Ninja Turtles that is still alive, and that one turtle is out to take vengeance on, the people that are responsible for his brother's deaths. So, pretty cool story, and they're not doing that anymore, and that's a bummer. But I also do understand how, if you were trying to relaunch a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise in a live action format, you may not want that first movie to be, it's set in the future and 3 of them are dead.
Right.
I get that from like a studio standpoint. I get that. And the article that I read, it was a Hollywood Reporter article, did mention that although the project was canceled, it was something that the studio was keeping in mind for maybe down the line. Like, we get a trilogy of PG-13 Ninja Turtles movies, and then maybe we develop one rated R one, an Elseworlds one, or a spinoff kind of thing. So it is a bummer that those 2 things are not going to be moving forward anymore. However, we did get a guarantee that the sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is still happening and is still set to premiere on September 17th, 2027. One quote that I noted from the article was that because this Moritz guy is responsible for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, apparently a lot of insiders at Paramount are saying that, executives at Paramount are saying that they want to Sonicify the Ninja Turtles franchise. And I hate the way that's phrased.
100%.
I hate the way that's phrased. And I understand what they mean because Sonic the Hedgehog is a very successful franchise. I thought the first 2 movies were pretty good, like way better than they needed to be. Third one was fine. But they're making money and they're kind of doing right by the characters as best they can. So if that's what they mean, great. But my guess is that they mean that they want
Turn it into a cash cow.
cash cow, pretty steady, not taking any risks, family friendly, soft PG-13 style action movies with the Ninja Turtles. Now, I think the Ninja Turtles are characters that can work in that environment for sure. We've had a bunch of different tones and styles and portrayals of the Ninja Turtles over the years. I just wouldn't want them to take too much of the edge off of the Ninja Turtles. As much as I loved Secret of the Ooze as a kid, it took me a long time to realize that in that movie, not one of the turtles draws their weapons the entire time.
Nope.
Because of parental backlash at the time, not wanting, parents not wanting to see their kids watching people getting stabbed with swords and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why in the opening scene of Secret of the Ooze, they're like using stuff in the environment. They're like using hot dogs to fight instead of the weapons that they have strapped to their shells. It's all like funny and goofy, but also, by the way, Leonardo does not draw his sword once in that entire movie, to at least use it.
It's all like in the fights against not Bebop and not Rocksteady, Toka and Razar.
Really insane that's not Bebop and Rocksteady,
No.
right? That's crazy.
So
It's
dumb.
so stupid.
So dumb.
Why did they not do that? Why not?
Yeah.
So dumb.
We're gonna
I thought it was dumb at the time. I thought it was dumb at the time.
Yep.
When I was 8 or whatever, I thought it was stupid.
Right. And like
So stupid.
they mutated a turtle and it wasn't Spike. Like there was a lot of choices made.
Also, why give us another turtle? We have 4 of them.
Right.
Pick another animal.
Yep.
Yep. You're not going to do Bebop and Rocksteady, and you're just going to give us another turtle that just, this one's a little meaner, I guess, so it's going to look a little meaner.
But it's still a baby, so it's less mean, but yeah.
Dumb. Dumb. You know what? Fuck that movie. I'm coming out against Secret of the Ooze. 43-year-old man coming out against Secret of the Ooze.
That's great.
I'm going to start a petition to have it revoked from the world.
Oozeness? I don't know.
So I understand why they're saying Sonicify, but I feel like when any studio is looking at an IP that they own and are saying like, let's make it like this other IP that has nothing to do with it and is radically different in tone and everything.
Yeah.
I think that's a mistake. I think if you're taking something that if you own something but you're chasing after something else, that's a recipe for a bad movie. So hopefully Neil H. Moritz can take care of it and do a good job. Because I mean, it's not like the Fast and the Furious franchise and the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise are very similar. Right. So he knows how to differentiate. I guess they're both fast. That's the only thing.
True.
But turtles
notoriously not
notoriously
fast.
slow. So maybe I think this guy might be in over his head.
Maybe that's the Sonicify. They're just making them fast turtles.
Let's make them faster. that was his whole pitch to Paramount. Guys, I know what I'm going to do.
I got it.
It's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of turtles. Oh, one hand goes up. They're slow. You nailed it. And he just like reveals on a big whiteboard, fast turtle. They just start throwing bags of money at him.
It's totally how it happened. 100%.
It's totally how it happened. So let's stop talking about that and start talking about Star Wars. Want to talk about Star Wars, Steve?
No.
I know you never want to talk about Star Wars. That'll be a real problem for our next venture.
Yes. Yeah.
It'll be a real problem. You know what? I'm not really into this anymore.
I'm over it. It's fine.
You guys talk. While we're jumping into Star Wars, I gotta say that I was at Black Spire Outpost West last week, which is why I did not host the podcast. And if you're watching on video, you'll be able to see that I purchased a beautiful Mythosaur mug from Oga's Cantina in Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Land in Disneyland. It's got some weird writing on the back of it. I don't know if you can read that off the top of your head, Steve. Can you translate that?
No, because that's not even Aurebesh. That's something else.
I know it's not Aurebesh. I think it's got to be like ancient Mandalore or something like that. I didn't recognize the font, if you will. I have yet to look it up and figure out what that means, but I'm sure it's online somewhere.
Oh, I guarantee.
Yeah. So got this at my happy place, Oga's Cantina. Drinking out of it right now. So toast to Star Wars Land in general.
Yeah. So how did West compare to East?
It was almost exactly the same. The only difference as far as layout is that there is a third entrance in California, whereas there's only 2 entrances in Florida. There's a third entrance that comes out right next to Kylo Ren's ship.
Oh, okay.
There, which is like blocked off near like the milk stand. That's where it's blocked off in Florida, but it's a third entrance in California. And on the way out, like past when you're walking back to the park, past Rise of the Resistance, like the X-wing and the A-wing and the merchandise stands, they're like in different places.
Right.
That's it. Everything else is exactly the same. Exactly the same.
It's good to feel welcome then.
It's good to feel welcome. It was good to know where everything was and not have to like look at a map and where's the Falcon?
It's right
a lot
in the
of cool
middle.
stuff.
It's the big ship in the middle, guys.
A big ship in the middle. Speaking of that, they did a I think this is relatively new. I had heard about it, but I wasn't sure if they were doing it yet. But they did, Disney is famous for their like evening fireworks shows or like video display shows that they project stuff on the castle or whatever. But they did something similar to that specifically in Star Wars Land, where they projected like the story of really Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
The first 6.
They showed all 6 movies.
On the mountain range or whatever behind the Falcon.
Really?
Everyone like stood and it was like the Falcon and just a projection on like the rocks that it was as if there was like a droid off to the side that was projecting a hologram of like a storyteller.
Right.
And the storyteller like started telling as if just like regaling the tale of Anakin Skywalker and the, war for the galaxy and stuff like that. Started from episode 1 and went through Return of the Jedi.
Right. Toronto Bosch.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it was really cool. It was really cool and very nerdy. And check it out if you are there. I suggest it.
Very nerdy, he says to the guy who just quoted C-3PO speaking Ewok.
Yeah. Tona. Boom. So my family we flew into LA and then we went to Anaheim for 2 days. We were 1 day in Disneyland, 1 day in California Adventure. Then we drove down to San Diego for like 3 days. That entire time, everywhere we went, besides food, the only thing we bought was Star Wars merchandise at Galaxy's Edge. It's the only thing we spent money on.
That's amazing.
Other than food. Yep. It was pretty proud of my family, I gotta say. Like, it's not shocking for me.
Right.
But for a 9-year-old and my wife, only thing we bought, Star Wars stuff. Great. Very proud.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The last time when we went in September, there wasn't too much we came back with that wasn't Star Wars related either.
Like, why bother to buy anything else?
Right.
What else are you going to get?
What do you need?
What else is there? You get mouse ears?
Right.
You're going to wear those for 30 seconds. What?
Sebastian did the first time we went. They were R2-D2's dome with mouse ears on it.
There you go.
So
Star
it still
Wars
counts.
Star Wars. I always kind of want mouse ears when I'm there, but I'm like, I am never going to wear these once as soon as I walk out of this park. Like, if I remember, I'll bring them back if I come back again, but I'm never going to wear these once I leave.
Yeah, my wife actually did the frugally smart or fiscally smart thing and bought a pair at Aldi. It was like a couple weeks before, and they apparently had mouse ears at Aldi when she went grocery shopping and was like, all right, guess we're buying those.
Interesting. Very interesting. I did not know that. Aldi, what don't they do? I'll tell you what they don't do. They don't tell you news about Star Wars Starfighter. And you talked about it a little bit last week, Matt Smith being officially announced as a cast member.
Yep.
And this isn't really news about any like plot details or casting, but it is a little bit of insight because there's still so much we don't know about this movie. We know General, what's his face, Ryan Gosling is protecting a kid from bad guys. That's all we know. We don't know why. We don't know who Ryan Gosling is. We don't know what his role is or the kid's role is in the galaxy. We don't know who the bad guys are. We don't know anything about this. So if anything pops up, I think it's worth talking about. Now, Sean Levy, director of this movie, this past week was asked about if he has to be following any mandates from Lucasfilm. If Lucasfilm gave him any, like, you got to do this, or you got to do this, or you got to do whatever. And he said, quote, there is no mandate or interference other than the constant encouragement, make this new. And that's the truth. Every time I've asked, should I use this character that was maybe in this movie? Every time it's, you know what? People have seen that. Do something new. So far, I've had more freedom on this movie. It's equal to any other movie I've made, including the original movies like Free Guy and The Atom Project, where it was based on no legacy. So far, it's very, very liberating. So, if we're hoping for cameos in Starfighter, it seems like we're not going to be getting any, and I think that I'm fine with that.
Oh, I'm definitely happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm curious how much that is him being truthful and how much coach speak it is. But
Great point.
you know, if
Great
it is
point.
true, then damn, like more power to him to just make the movie he wants to
Yeah.
make. Like that's
Yeah.
what we've been calling for, is to give these, you know, creative people creative freedom to make what they feel like is going to be a good movie. And you know, sometimes they hit and sometimes they miss.
Well, I mean, the last time that someone was given total creative freedom to make a Star Wars movie was Last Jedi, which is a movie that I completely adore and a lot of people hate with a fiery passion.
Yeah.
Divided the fandom, and Star Wars fans will never be the same after The Last Jedi. So I think if this is true, I love it that they're like back to making the movies they believe in. And when I say they, I mean Luke, and not making a movie based on, oh no, you better put a reference to this in there because fans love this character, or you better do this or else we're going to be in trouble with the fans. You know, like it's not reactionary filmmaking. This is like you said, like just make a movie. It's like what you say all the time. It seems like they are trying to make a good movie.
Yeah.
And they're not worried about the future. They're not worried about franchise material. They're trying to make a good Star Wars movie first and foremost. And if it's a big hit, then yeah, we'll throw a bunch of money at Ryan Gosling and get him back, and this will be the new direction of the franchise.
Yep.
But if no one likes it, then hey, it's just a one-off cool Star Wars movie. Great.
Yeah. No, I think my dog's freaking out and I'll be back in a couple of seconds. But I think in general, yeah, it's very refreshing to see them embracing this, especially after when we kind of had that shut down with the Hunt for Ben Solo stuff, where it seems like Driver and Soderbergh were on something and like, you know, moving in a direction, and then it got shut down by the higher ups.
Yeah, well, the excuse that they gave, that the higher ups gave, for Ben Solo, was more that they didn't understand the story, I guess, despite Lucasfilm saying that they thought it was sound and clear and made perfect sense. Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, I think was that his name, didn't understand why why or how Ben Solo could still be alive. My guess is if that they read the script they were given, they probably would have found out how or why he's still alive. But I don't know. Reportedly, they did read the script, but who knows? Who knows when you're talking about old white billionaires? They don't know what they're doing. Should I move on to the next story? Steve's gone. Steve's gone. He went to check on his dog. Should I move on to the next story, or should I just ramble and wait for him to come back? I don't know how long it's going to be. He didn't tell me. He just scooted back from his chair while I was talking and walked away. So he could be gone forever. I don't know what's happening to him right now. Maybe he's getting attacked by Jason Voorhees in his backyard. I don't know. I could just finish the podcast by myself, and then I'll get a phone call tomorrow that says, "Oh, your friend and co-host Steve Haller was tragically murdered by Jason Voorhees in his backyard." Now, I'm sure you're out there saying, "Mike, what if Steve really is murdered by Jason Voorhees in his backyard?" You're going to feel really bad. You're going to feel really bad when you wake up tomorrow and he's actually murdered by Jason Voorhees. Guess what, kids? Jason Voorhees is fictional. That's right. Sorry to blow your minds, but he is. Those are movies. Those are not documentaries. I know it's really easy to watch any Friday the 13th movie and think that it's found footage documentary that was shot in real Camp Crystal Lake. I know it's really easy to see that because those movies are so full of verisimilitude, real word, look it up, and like logic and just like really fleshed out human characters. They're so natural that you believe that they're real people, so you might think that they are real people and this is a found footage film. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not true. It's not the case. They're all fictional. They're films produced by Hollywood. Those Hollywood fat cats, same ones that canceled The Hunt for Ben Solo, are the same ones that are trying to get you to believe that Friday the 13th is real. Sorry, the date Friday the 13th is real. The film franchise. You know what I mean? The film franchise. Anyway. Steve's still not back. I'm going to have to make sure he listens to this episode so he can hear my Friday the 13th chunk. Should I start stand-up comedy? Should I do stand-up comedy, but only about Friday the 13th? Let me know. Tell me in the comments. Tell me, send me an email. Write a post on our social medias. Ryan Johnson, ever heard of that guy? Ryan Johnson. He wrote and directed a movie we just talked about before we somehow got on this dumb Friday the 13th franchise tangent. How do we do that? I don't know how that happened. But anyway, this guy named Ryan Johnson, relatively talented guy. He's got a new movie coming out. He's got his third Knives Out mystery Netflix movie coming out. It's in like select theaters now, and it's going to be a limited release, a limited wide release, like next week, I think. But then it's not on Netflix till like the second week of December. What the hell? Anyways, Ryan Johnson guy. He wrote and directed this movie called The Last Jedi. Steve, welcome back.
Thanks.
Now, I have already said this to our listening audience and our viewing audience, but tomorrow you need to listen to this podcast, specifically what I talked about while you were gone, because you won't believe it. And can we all? Oh, by the way, Steve, you don't know what I'm saying, but I need to say this to the viewers and to the listeners. See, he's back. It didn't happen. See, I was right. I knew he would come back. I didn't feel bad. I don't feel bad about saying what I said. Okay? Okay. So
Damn
Steve,
it, now I actually do have to listen to it.
you really should. You really should.
Timestamp is okay. Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan Johnson wrote a movie called The Last Jedi. It is, in my opinion, my personal opinion, come at me, bro. The best Star Wars movie since the original trilogy, since The Empire Strikes Back, probably. I have to be honest with myself, I'm removing nostalgia from the equation, which is hard to do when it comes to Star Wars for people like you and me. Last Jedi, I think, is in my top 3 Star Wars movies.
Okay.
Adding nostalgia, then it's probably number 4. So it's close anyway. But I think it bumps Return of the Jedi if I'm removing nostalgia as far as how good of a fucking movie it is. I love that movie. It's incredible. If you don't like it, if you misunderstood it, you should watch it again. Watch it multiple times. I was once like you. Anyway, Ryan Johnson.
And my wife just came home.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Tell her I said hi.
No, it couldn't have been 3 seconds ago before the dog freaked out.
Oh, yeah. Great time.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Oh.
outside of Rogue One, I'm not too far off that statement.
Yeah. I know we do our Star Wars ranking episodes every year.
Yeah.
I feel like in another year or two,
Yep.
we should redo the movies again. We should re-rank them again.
That wouldn't be a
See
bad
if
idea.
anything has changed. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Don't want to do it too often.
Right.
But maybe like after
could
the first
even-
5 years, then we do the 6 years another movie ranking.
Yeah, we could even do that another, like, an off cycle at some point too.
That's
you know,
true.
if we get a down week on news or whatever, or even to intersperse to our wonderful viewers at various points.
Well, we should definitely do it somehow in the other thing.
Mike's being very cryptic
Like-
for good reasons. Hopefully, we'll be able to
Email
say
them.
something very soon about our next endeavor.
Hopefully. Literally been talking about this for 3 years. For so
yeah.
long.
Yeah, about that.
At least 2. I had it in my head for a long time. Then you and I talked about it for a long time. The 4 of us have been talking about it for a year.
Yes.
It's not happening. Anyway, Ryan Johnson, Last Jedi. Lucasfilm loved working with Ryan Johnson so much, and they liked The Last Jedi so much before they released it, that they offered Ryan Johnson an entire trilogy. A trilogy of Star Wars films written and directed by Ryan Johnson. That was announced before The Last Jedi came out, I think, or soon after. Be like, this is how
Yeah.
much we love this movie. We're giving this guy 3 movies.
Yep. It was kind of, it was right around release.
Yeah, it was. Now, because of his new Knives Out mystery film coming out shortly, it's called Wake Up Dead Man. I'm very excited for it because I love the other 2 Knives Out movies. Great. Hollywood Reporter did a big article, a big profile of Ryan Johnson. And of course, got to talk about Star Wars. And this is not a quote, but the article says the following. It says, Johnson had signed on to mount a fresh Star Wars trilogy in 2017. And while that plan is effectively dead, he isn't saying goodbye yet. Quote from Ryan Johnson, a part of my brain will always be in Star Wars. It's so much a part of me and the way I think. And then the article moves on to something else. Before this, the article does cover his work on The Last Jedi and the fan reaction to it and his take on that. But apparently, according to this article, the long rumored, long talked about, long wondered about Ryan Johnson's Star Wars trilogy is, quote, effectively dead. Steve,
Not great,
I
Bob.
feel like
Not
you and
great.
I kind of assumed this.
We did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, for it to be confirmed as toast is not, it just sucks. Because I think
does
both of us were quite excited about it, just for the, if nothing else, for the fresh breath that it could give to the franchise. You know,
Sure. Yeah.
we actually talked about last week on the pod. Brandon and I talked about how, imagine Hunt for Ben Solo with Ryan Johnson directing.
Sure. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
You know, the fresh third party look at, you know, a new story. Go for it.
Even I've spoken to multiple people that don't like The Last Jedi as much as me, that have still said, "Oh, I think he would be good if he did his own trilogy, if he wasn't doing, you know,
Right.
wasn't messing with Luke Skywalker or whatever." Their complaints were like, "No, I think he'd be good if it was like his own original characters and stuff like that. I think that would be good."
Yeah.
So I do think there was a good amount of interest in this, or at least a good amount of like, well, we'll wait and see what he comes up with.
Right.
Not immediate hatred. So I gotta say, although I did assume that we were never going to see this, I did assume that it wasn't going to happen. And so this is just, I guess, more or less confirmation that that's the case. That's not going to happen. But so here we are.
We
Here we
are.
are in a non-Ryan Johnson-less Star Wars. When is Celebration? When's the next Celebration? Is it not until the 50th?
I think they do. Yeah, I think they only do. I think they do every other
It's every
year.
2 years. Yeah, because I think the next one is in California for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah,
Because
2027,
you and me
April
and
1st through 4th.
Matt talked about going. Should we go to that?
We should.
We should go to that. We should probably go to that, right?
We should find a way to.
We should probably go to that. Anyway, that's enough Star Wars.
Why is my dog sniffing?
Remember
my
when
guitar?
your dog's sniffing that guitar? You should give him lessons. He wants to play. He needs to express himself.
Yeah, he expresses himself often.
So much so that you have to leave the podcast to go upstairs. Do you remember a while ago on this episode of this podcast when we were talking about 90s soundtracks and the Spin Doctors?
Yep.
Well, I have a pocket full of kryptonite, and we're talking about DC.
Bravo, sir. Way to bring that one back around.
I mean, I really wish there was a Superman story, but at least it's a DC story. There's no Superman to talk about.
There's a Superman story today.
There is?
Yeah.
What is it? It's not on the rundown. Tell me
Yeah,
what
it is. The comic story.
Oh, the comic story. Oh, shit. I should have saved it for the comic story. Okay, Steve. Okay, here's the plan. Cut this part out.
All right.
I'm going to do it again when we get to the comics.
All
no
right.
one will know.
Perfect.
Okay? You just act like you're hearing it for the first time.
Mike, we're live on YouTube.
Everyone on YouTube, keep it a secret. Everyone on YouTube's in on it. We're all in on it together.
There you go.
Okay. Just a couple small DC things. The Lantern series, I guess, has been delayed. It was supposed to come out early 2026. Now they're saying summer or late summer 2026. Bummer, but, make it good. And this is just kind of generally DC related. But like we've talked about last couple weeks on and off, Warner Brothers, I guess, is still up for sale or looking to be sold. I guess recently it got bids from Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix. They're all sending in bids to buy Warner Brothers.
What kind of world are we living in where Netflix can buy Warner Brothers?
Thank you. It's insane that Netflix is. If Netflix were to buy Warner Brothers, that would be insane. I think it would be insane, and a lot of people agree with that, and which is why a lot of people are asking, wait, Netflix only does like limited theatrical releases for like 2% of their movies, and it's got to be like when it's Ryan Johnson's, third Knives Out movie hit, like a hit in a franchise or whatever, or like something's like auteur director or like Oscar buzz. If they want to win an Oscar, they're going to put it in theaters to get that requirement. So a lot of people were thinking like, well, if Netflix buys Warner Brothers, are they just never going to release Warner Brothers movies anymore? Is it just going to be limited releases in theaters, but mostly just on streaming? And apparently it has been confirmed by insiders familiar with the whatever negotiations that Netflix has said that films would still be released theatrically because those would be baked into contracts that those filmmakers have with the studio. But I read that and thought like, well, who's to say that any new contracts they say wouldn't be theatrical releases, like, or they could just be lying, like, who knows, they could be lying because they want to buy the shit. People are saying, but Netflix buying Warner Bros. Would be too big of investment for them to not put things in theaters. It'd be too much money spent to only stick to streaming.
Yeah.
As far as movies go, but what's that mean with TV? Like, did they demolish the HBO Max app? Is that just gone, faded into Netflix? Like, crazy. I don't know. It's been a while since I listened to the Hot Mic podcast.
Yeah.
Jeff Snyder and John Rocca were talking about this deal, and Snyder was saying that apparently, I think we may have talked about this, but in April of next year, Warner Brothers and Discovery are scheduled to like break apart or break up into like different divisions. I think, and Snyder was saying that he's pretty sure that no deal is actually going to go through. Everyone's going to really hold off until then, and they can acquire different parts of it. No one wants to buy Warner Brothers Discovery as a whole.
No, because
But maybe
Warner
somebody
Brothers
wants to buy
Discovery as a
just
whole
DC or
shouldn't.
just HBO or something, or just this. So
Yeah.
like maybe once it's broken up, maybe people want to pack some, snag some things up. But
Right, because Warner Brothers Discovery shouldn't be a thing.
yeah, you're
Like,
right. It
all
shouldn't
of
be a
this
thing.
shit should not be under one roof. Like, I get why people, I don't want to use the term sell out, but like, why they sell out, and like,
Sorry.
I understand it.
Sorry.
But also
Yeah.
at the same time, like, it sucks from our standpoint of having to, look at everything from a third party of, well, it's all, it's like when you look at sunglasses. Every sunglass is owned by Luxottica, or eyeglasses.
Yeah.
Like, everything is Luxottica. Like, what, how?
Yeah.
How is it all one company?
I know. Like, how can you not just be Warner Brothers movie studio and be successful?
Yeah.
I don't know. Other studios do that, and you're fucking Warner Brothers. What's wrong with you? Figure it out.
Yeah, you would think.
Put Batman on everything. You'll sell 1 million of everything. Anyway, Steve, do you remember at the beginning of this podcast when we were talking about 90s music and the Spin Doctors?
Yeah.
Well, I have a pocket full of kryptonite as we move into this next Superman story.
Nailed it. Nailed it, Mike. Nailed it.
Folks, I saw this today and it blew my mind. This is a big deal in the world of comic books. We have a new most valuable comic of all time. Now, for years, Action Comics #1, first appearance of Superman, credited as the birth of superheroes in general, the birth of superhero comics, the birth of the idea of superheroes. Action Comics #1 for years has been the most valuable comic book. For a long time, it was hovering around the $3 million mark. When it was sold, it would be sold for around $3 million-ish, little over. But then just last year in 2024, it sold for $6 million, doubled its worth in one sale. So now no one's paying less than $6 million for Action Comics #1. But guess what? Now it has been massively overtaken by the official Superman #1, the first Superman comic book with his name in the title. Superman #1 came out in 1939, a year after Action Comics #1. Just sold at auction this week for $9.12 million.
Yeah.
What?
Now,
the previous record for Superman #1 was $5.3 million in 2022. Not even that long ago. It sold for $5.
That said,
$9.
There is a really, really good reason that jumped like it did. Because apparently this book was found randomly in an attic by three brothers that were cleaning out their like late mother's stuff. And found this thing. They found it in like way more pristine a condition than it should have been. And CGC graded it a 9.0.
A 9.0 for a comic that is 86 years old. It came out in 1939. It gets graded a 9.0 by CGC. That is insane.
Right. I don't think I have a comic from the 90s that I have still that is a 9.0.
I know.
Unless it's in plastic back there, I got nothing.
I know 9.0. So like what was it in? What was this person keeping their comics in that is so preserved? What the hell? But yeah, this is that classic story of we're going through old books in the attic and found one that was worth $9.12 million.
Right. Did they take it to Antiques Roadshow and
yeah, I know, right? Well, apparently the article also said that I guess the mom before her death would often mention like something about, oh, I have these rare comic books around here somewhere, but she didn't remember where they were and no one
Right.
ever
They
found
thought she
them.
was just
So they
crazy and
assumed that it was a legend or a
right.
lie or whatever. And then they're cleaning out the attic finally and they were like, whoa,
Mom
heyo.
wasn't off her rocker. Okay.
I know. I wonder what else they had. I wonder if they had anything else that was like cool. I'm sure they didn't have anything else that was worth $9 million. But
Right.
crazy. Well, speaking of comics that will someday be worth $9 million, Steve, do you have a comic book to review tonight?
I do not. I was not down
Oh.
to the shop at all. So
I wasn't, but I was a while ago. And I think I forgot one week that I had this to review. But I read it tonight and I'm really glad I did. And it's perfect timing considering this episode and when it's coming out. This is a book from Ahoy Comics, which is a Syracuse, New York
local
based comic book
publisher, yeah.
publisher. Ahoy Comics, and it's called Thanksgiving. That's right. Thanksgiving.
For anyone
And,
in audio form, it is Thanksgiving with a picture of a butcher's knife under it.
yes, a gloved
There you
hand
go.
holding a knife in like a stabby position. Now, immediately when I was given this book to review by Mustache Mike at Funky Town Comics, I assumed because of the knife in the hand and the title, I assumed it was a spin-off of the Eli Roth movie,
Yep.
Thanksgiving, which is great if you like slasher movies. It's super fun.
Edgar Wright Thanksgiving would be very different.
I would watch the hell out of that.
I would too.
Although I heard the new his Running Man remake, not so great. I don't know. Anyway, that's not this. That's not what it is. Anyway, we're talking about it, but it's not even what it is. So when I kind of flipped through it, looking for any iconography from the Eli Roth movie, and I was like, oh, I don't think this is an adaptation. It's not. It's about family, but there is murder involved, and it's way less actiony than I expected. Again, because I assumed it was going to be related to the slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe I'll say this much about it because we are close to Thanksgiving and you should run out and get it as soon as you can. So it's a family sitting down to Thanksgiving dinner, and one of the family members stands up and confesses to being a serial killer while they're sitting around the table, and things spin out from there. I'll say that. It's it takes place in a town that similar to Haddonfield, Illinois, with Halloween. This town, there's always murders around the Thanksgiving time, and this guy or girl at the Thanksgiving meal stands up to say, "Hey, I'm the serial killer that kills everybody on Thanksgiving every year," and it goes from there. Surprisingly, not super duper gory. Surprisingly, maybe a hard PG-13. Honestly, no, it's definitely rated R for like one panel. But I highly recommend it. I thought it was very engaging because it's not action oriented, because it's kind of like character and it's just it's story over schlock or whatever. So the story is really good. Emotional beats are really good. Like it's great. Even if you are looking for a slashery thing, this will satisfy you, I think. So I highly recommend Thanksgiving, #1, if it's still out there. I can't imagine this being anything other than an anthology if there's ever like a #2. But the writer, it's Mark Russell on words, Morissette as the artist, Rob Steen as the letterer. There's also a and like an essay. They do Ahoy Comics does prose entries, and I think you can like submit your own thing, like open submissions.
Nice.
For prose essays or poems or things that they have at the end of their books. That one is called God Trouble, and it's written by Carol Lay. So you can check it out. Ahoy Comics Thanksgiving #1. I very much recommend it, and I'm glad I read it. What's coming out this week at your local comic book store? could be Absolute Batman number 14, Absolute Wonder Woman number 14, Battle World number 3, Black Cat number 4, Cloak or Dagger number 2, Daredevil, Punisher, The Devil's Trigger number 1, Department of Truth number 34, Detective Comics number 1103, DCKO number 2, The Flash number 27, Flash Gordon number 13, Green Arrow 30, Green Lantern 29, Harley Quinn 56, Harley Quinn in Paradise number 45. You get to choose regular Harley Quinn or Harley Quinn in Paradise. What a week. Infernal Hulk, number 1. Justice League Unlimited, number 13. The Last Day of H.P. Lovecraft, number 2. Marvel Knights Punisher, number 2. The Mortal Thor, number 4. Star Wars Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red, number 3. I don't think I knew about 1 and 2. Superman 32. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder, number 3. Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, 5. Undeadpool, number 2. Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man, number 4. Vampirella, Holiday, 2025 special, number 1. X-Men, Age of Revelation, Infinity Comic, number 4. And X-Vengers, number 2. X-Vengers.
Didn't know
X-Men
there was number
Avengers
1.
Hybrid, some kind?
I really couldn't tell you.
That's got to be an Age of Revelation thing, right?
Yeah. Danny Moonstar leading a team of Avengers, Hawkeye, Vision, Water Widow, Shang-Chi, Variable Man, and Cannonball protect the planet.
Sorry, did you say Variable Man?
Apparently. He just does math problems.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's really interesting. Interesting name for a character.
Oh, okay. It is X-Men, or it's Scott Lang transformed by the techno-organic virus. That makes more sense.
Okay.
Not that,
Poor
yeah.
Scott.
Well, because there's also an Ant-Man looking person on the cover, so that makes even more sense.
All right. Were you aware of Star Wars Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red?
I don't think so.
I don't think I was at all, but that sounds like what I want out of Boba Fett.
Right.
More than
What they've given us?
anything. More than anything I've ever seen Boba Fett do.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds right. I don't know. It's
What's the
I
coolest
still-
thing
I
that we've
still-
seen Boba Fett do? Because he's
get
called a cool
shot
character.
into a sarlacc.
I mean,
That's the
least
coolest
cool
thing. No, that is actually the coolest thing we've seen him do.
No, we've seen him ride a Rancor. That's cool as
True.
hell.
In animation, we've seen him ride whatever too. Remember
True.
the brontosaurus thing?
I think I'm gonna watch. I think I'm gonna watch that again this year.
I might give it a
I
shot.
think it's been a couple years. It's been at least 2 years. I should watch it again.
Maybe I should try and watch it with my son.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Hey, you want to see something terrible? Kind of based on a thing you like?
You know what though? They'd probably find it hilarious or
They might.
like absolutely love it.
They might. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Undeadpool?
Undeadpool, X-Vengers.
Radioactive Spider-Man?
Oh, we're talking about Boba Fett. We're talking about the coolest things Boba Fett
Oh,
ever did.
yeah.
He certainly does nothing cool in the original trilogy, which always confounded me as to why he was such a popular character
Right. He just looked
so long.
cool.
Such a fan. Like, he looks cool. Yeah, because he's the only Mandalorian in the trilogy. That's why he looks cool. Now we have 1,000 Mandalorians, and they all
Right.
just, yeah, sure, they all look cool, but it's not new anymore. I don't know. But in the original trilogy, yeah, he's not even the one that, like, yeah, he tracks Han Solo. The coolest thing he does in the original trilogy is pretend to be garbage and follow the Millennium Falcon. That's the
Right.
coolest thing he does in the original trilogy.
That is true.
Because in Cloud City, he's not even like the one that takes out Han Solo or whatever. He's there, but Vader's there.
Right.
And Lando's the one that leads him to the room. And then he just takes Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. And then, like you said, in Jedi, he just gets poked in the back and dies.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, doesn't he shoot the rope around Luke?
He does shoot a rope around Luke. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So,
All right, you got me.
at least there's
you got
something.
me, Steve. You got
I
me.
mean, that gets offset by him just flying after
Get-
Boba
getting
Fett. Where?
Poked in the back.
Go.
Yeah. It's really a lame death. Like you
Oh,
can
it
tell
really
no
is.
one cared about that character. No one
Yep.
cared about that character. He got poked in the back and fell into a mouth in the sand.
Right. And then half of Wilhelm scream and he goes falling down a
Yeah,
pit of a giant
exactly.
sand monster.
Yeah. Later, he gets a cool action sequence in the Mandalorians. In the Mandalorian, a mediocre show of his own in which he gets to do at least one cool thing: ride a Rancor.
Which I'd assume was an homage to him writing whatever the hell he was writing in the holiday special.
Could be, very well could be. That's all I got, Steve. You got anything else? After 11 o'clock.
It's no, I'm good on my end. I would say that if you are enjoying what you're hearing in your ear holes, you should listen to us more, but you should also like, review, subscribe, leave a comment on any of these pod platforms,
Blast forms.
Podplast cat forms, podcast. It's definitely
Wow.
11:15. No, podcast platform of your choice. That's way harder to say than it should be. Really helps the algorithm find us and get more people, listening and aware of us.
Certainly does.
Other than that, check us out on socials, the Multiverse Report, and go from there.
Yes, please do. And until then, as the two suns set over the burnt corpses of Owen and Baru Lars, we say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the multiverse.